Gaming Today presents Cash Considerations.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is Thursday, November 12th. You may not be listening to us on Thursday. In fact, you won't. It's dropping on Friday, November 13th. But welcome to the show, Cash Considerations. This is our first show after AB. I'm calling this the A squared B era of the show. So go back and listen to the farewell episode last week, but we moved forward and we brought in a special guest to try to fill AB's shoes. He really can't do it, but, you know, he's going to try. He was brave enough to come on the show with us and try. So we're going to welcome him in a minute. Let's first welcome in the boys. Molitor Pearson at Heed These Takes. What is up, Mo? How are you feeling?
Fellas, what's going on? Obviously, I don't have Alan to my side, so I feel a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, you know, I'm happy to just do the show again, man. What's going on?
All right. We'll get to it at some point, but we spent a little time together last night, and it turned into a lot of time together, and into the middle of the night. We'll get to that later, but that was a fun visit at Circa. I highly recommend you go and visit the sportsbook there. Here's a guy that's visited the sportsbook there. He's played some horses there, and, you know, Joe is still there. I don't know how Joe's doing it at Sports Gambling Daily. He's on Cal Ripken Street. But here we have Howard Barish, the managing editor of Gaming Today at Gaming Today News. What's up, HB?
Hey, guys. How are you? Yeah, it's a little sad without AB. I might have to grab a tissue sometime tonight.
Okay. They're probably to your right if you need them. They're right over there on your right.
For crying.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that was
right. He jumped right in there. Reynolds was ready. Did you see Reynolds? That's our producer. I am Reynolds, 2305 in the upper corner, making sure the show is right and that Howard has his Kleenex.
I'll tell you, it's been a great sports week. I love the 2 nights of action. And the Masters talk and the Masters highlights and the Masters hype have just been off the hook.
Yes.
Today was so fabulous.
Yes. Fall Masters is good. I didn't know if I would like it. I love it. It's awesome. Hopefully we'll be able to watch it on Sunday amidst all the football. The show is at GT Cash Consider, boys. We got over 1,500 followers. Congratulations to us. Continue to grow the show, follow the show, rate the show, review the show. We're going to figure out a giveaway, something to maybe get some more reviews. We'll work on that. My Twitter handle is at SportsBKConsig, Sportsbook Consigliere. And we are ready to bring in our guest. He is at Andy MSFW on Twitter. Andy Molitor, the director of content for at BetSperts and the Minnesota half of the Deep Dive podcast at Deep Dive Pod. He does this show with Drew Dinsick, who is at whale_capper. You guys have been doing this show. If you guys don't know, you got to listen to the show. It's Drew sitting out somewhere in L.A., you know, and then you got Andy up in the farm country of Minnesota, not far from Iowa. He's got a green screen for the YouTube people watching on YouTube. Again, the most professional one of the 4 of us. He's got it. I mean, I got my terrible towel over my head. Reynolds is in the bunker. Mo is in the next room from Pops, and AB's got the memorabilia store all over the walls and everything behind him. Andy, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys? This is you kept me up late. Like you said, I'm in Minnesota. It's late here. Had to tell the wife, like, don't wait up. I got to do a podcast. What time?
Doesn't
like
exist.
9:30, babe.
Time's not real.
That's fine. No, we're still watching. We still got a football game on. I would have just gone home and watched the football game and not really spent any time with. Should have gone to bed anyway, so not a big deal. Love being here with you guys. I told Dave this too. I'm a listener. Like when you explain the take a minute, I know take a minute. Like I listen to the podcast. You guys, if nothing else, entertaining. Once in a while, there's some nuggets of wisdom in there. Maybe
Right.
Once we get to college basketball season.
Yeah,
There it is.
right. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of nonsense, but you know, we know you've been listening to the show and a fan of the show, so we really appreciate that. And I'm a fan of the Deep Dive Pod and connected with you via that, and same with Drew. So, I guess just my first question, other than it being Central Time, and, you guys go to bed early out on the farm, so we really appreciate you staying up with us. But tell everybody where you're at right now. Where are you from?
I guess I'm just from Minnesota, man. I've moved around a little, but yeah, Midwest guy. Yeah, we do get up early. You gotta take care of the livestock and whatnot, and plow the fields. I don't do any farming, but we do get up awful early. Man, I got kids. I gotta get them up, get them to school. They're still we still haven't shut down schools here yet, so luckily I get to still put them on the bus. But no, I'm up here in Minnesota, like you said, doing a lot of this stuff from this beautiful studio. I got this is just a $8 piece of green fabric I hang off a curtain rod, man.
Man,
it looks
really
like you're at
too
Augusta.
expensive for me.
It looks really good. It's above the budget right now for the Cash Considerations podcast. We're going to see what we can do. Maybe dive into some other stuff there. So you're in Minnesota. How did you get into betting, and then eventually doing the podcast with Drew?
I found the part of the dirty part of Twitter that we all dick around on. I can't remember how I found it originally. It was just you follow ESPN and you follow some of the other sports, whatever, products on Twitter. And then you find some guy that is posting in the comments of one of those hey, I'm on this game and I'm on this game and this is a 5-star game for me. I'm putting 10 units on this one. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's just giving out free plays. These probably he wouldn't just put that on there and they're not winners. You wouldn't do that. You'd get
nobody does that. Nobody does that.
Well, that was, Andy of 5-6 years ago. You just get run off the internet if you did that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And so then one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden I'm following everybody on there. And Drew and I got to talking. I learned my lessons that everything's bullshit on here, and you can't trust anybody. But Drew and I got talking over tennis. Originally, he used to bet
tennis betting.
Yeah, he used to bet a lot more tennis than he does. We still bet some tennis. I bet tennis this week. I still know quite a few guys who bet tennis every single day. It's kind of a good sport if you don't mind handicapping it and you like betting all the time. Because, it's 365. There's tournaments going on all over the world all the time.
Is there a sharp advantage? I've said it before where if you specialize in something, you can gain an edge in betting. Is tennis betting, if you dial in and get the right information, can you really have an advantage over books setting lines?
Oh, for sure. And it's just like you said, you get into a niche or something specific. There's guys that first half totals in college basketball. I'm sure you have some guys I'm sure you have some guys that beat you on things like that.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with tennis where there's these lower level tournaments and you get some players you haven't heard of maybe, and these guys just spend more time and it's lower limit stuff. So the books aren't going to get killed as it is. And these guys are able to, follow these people and figure out who's better than everyone else has them graded. And they make some good money on that lower level tennis, especially, but even up to the ATP and WTA, you see some people do pretty well. Real heavy stats-based stuff that bores me to tears for tennis because it's not I just like watching tennis and gambling on it. That stuff gets real analytical.
I know
some guys that make some money.
Is that still your favorite sport to bet on?
Oh, no. Football for sure, even though it's hard. The NFL's hard, man, but still, it's the best sport to gamble on.
Okay.
Nothing better than a Sunday sweat. College basketball's a lot easier, but –
Easier?
It's easier to win money in college basketball than it is in the NFL. The
NFL is definitely the hardest market, but college basketball I wouldn't say is an easy market. There's so many.
No, relative.
Specialize again, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right, so you and Drew do this podcast. You're getting around. You're on gambling Twitter. You know the bullshit, the good stuff, whatever. And there's many bullshit things and bad people and stuff. We've connected that way. It's a kind of a neat community. But before gambling Twitter, there was Vegas, and you've come out to Vegas. You did trips to Vegas. What is your best like Vegas trip? We kind of talked before, on the phone about your March Madness trip that was an annual trip and staying at the Wynn, drinking cabanas, betting. What is one of your favorite memories about coming out here and blowing it out?
I think this is usually a bad thing. And I don't know if you guys can even relate anymore from being out there so long, but like when you first get into town, if you win your first night, I think it's worse than losing your first night.
Yeah.
If you have a bunch of money in your pocket, you do there's some stuff I won't even repeat on here. God willing.
Can we mark that down, that quote? Can that quote get marked down? Because I believe that just in general.
Even
when you're out here,
true.
It's terrible.
That one is for Alvarez. That one will make the quote list for Alvarez right there. When you win at the beginning, it's worse than losing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, no. I mean, one of the best trips, and we always used to stay at the Wynn and wild times out at the Encore, topless pool, whatever they called it, the adult pool. Like that was just great. We'd always go for March Madness. There's constantly basketball games on. They had like a 4-table pit with a craps table and, hot waitresses. And, you see play cards out there too. And we'd go there when it opened. Like we'd go there at 9 a.m. when that place opened, spend all day until they closed the pool down to get ready for the nightclub. And the one trip that I won money, I remember, the one night I won money right away. I won a bunch at blackjack, and I remember being just too drunk. And I said, I had these chips, and they color them up. So I've got some flags in my hand, and I'm looking at them and thinking about, like, what if I just drop one of these? Like, that's a lot of cash you just have in these tiny little checks. So I went to the cage. I'm like, can you hold these for me? Like, is that a thing? And they said, yeah, just you apply for credit. I said, whoa, I'm not doing that. They said, no, just apply for credit, put 0. You want 0 credit, and then you just have to flash this card at any table and just take markers against the money we have. You're not borrowing it. You're borrowing it, which that's even worse. Then you want to, you take your chips and you say, well, this isn't real money. I'm just playing with these, these clay checks. When you can just go to the table and say, give me 2,000 in a marker right now. And you're out at the pool doing that after you've had like 13 $26 margaritas. That money just disappeared. I mean, it was I remember it's one of those things, and you've had those nights where like last night there, you guys apparently got into some shenanigans. You ever do that where you go drinking, maybe there's a strip club or something else where there's too much money getting spent, and you pull your phone out the next day and you don't want to check your bank balance? You don't want to look like, I don't want to know how much money I spent. I don't want to know what's pending or anything. It was the same thing because I'd have to like walk to the cage and ask, how much is left in that money? Because I couldn't, some markers I paid back, some I didn't. It's like, oh God. And you have a number in your mind, like if it's less than this, I'm just going to go back to the room and lay down and just call it a day. And it turned out it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought I made it out to be, but
that's like every 4th day for me of my life. As far as that number you're talking about, I'm like, if I don't have this amount, like, I don't know what I'm going to do for like a week. Like this is coming down to that.
That's a different kind of walk of shame, having to walk back to the cage and say, how much I got left? How much I got left?
Yeah, I know the number. I know what I just want to double check. You guys have the same number. I want to be in the same. It's like balancing your checkbook, guys.
And the last hand, you had a 20 and the dealer made a 5-card 21. And you're you're sick.
For sure.
Oh, it's brutal.
But on the flip side, Andy, the best is when you're losing. When you come on a trip to Vegas, then you make an iconic run the last 2 hours before you got to go to the airport, and you get even or just a bit ahead. It's the greatest.
Yeah, that's.
I've had mixed results of like
just get out of here with something.
But yeah, that's a good feeling because you can't give that money back. I've done that too, where the one time I brought my wife out here, and she won't ever go again. She told me that like a day into the trip. But the time before I brought her back, I think it was we were going to stay at the Wynn. I brought her back whatever the lavender, purple, 500, whatever it is. And I gave it to her. I said, I brought you a present from Vegas. And she doesn't gamble. She doesn't understand that. I'm like, see, this is money, but you can't blow it in the next 3 months. You have to save it for the trip because you can't cash this anywhere around here. And she actually kind of made her mad. She didn't like that at all. But she liked it when we got back out there when it said, go to the cage and go take that money and go shopping. So I play some cards now.
Oh, man. It's almost like getting a vacuum cleaner for your anniversary and giving it to her. Here's a $500.
I thought it was a good idea.
We all think it's a good idea until you actually do it. Then you're like, that didn't go as planned. It did not go as planned. So hopefully you'll be able to come out and do that again. Now you got guys out here we can, meet up, hook up, and do all these things. And, we're all older now, so I don't know. The trip may be a little bit different than your years past, but keep that in mind. Vegas is still, someday going to be Vegas again. I can't wait.
Better be.
Yeah, and hopefully soon. So tell me about Bet Spurts. So, what exactly is Bet Spurts and what is your role kind of going forward now?
So we've known, and speaking of Vegas trips, I did a Vegas trip with those guys. We've known those guys for a couple years. And, it started with just an app to track your action. You could put it in there, and it was nice because it had a little more functionality. You could say like, hey, you're really good at the NFL or maybe NFL totals, and you kind of stink at betting baseball run lines, and maybe you should stop that. It would actually show you like, hey, here's what you're good at, here's what you're bad at if you put all your plays in there. So it was a nice little tracking app like that, and we did some promotional work with them a couple of years ago. I feel like it was the NFL opener last season. We came out there with those guys. So we did a Vegas trip with those guys. A lot of fun, had a blast. They got some good promotion and good bunch of good downloads for their app and everything they were looking for. And then the ownership there came to Drew and I down at the deep dive and said they're looking to create some content, as everyone is right now. So said, well, what do you think about being our flagship podcast? We'd buy your podcast. We'd have you come on. And, we mulled it over. We did some negotiating, and we decided that it was a pretty fair offer. And, there were some other things on the back end where there's going to be a little bit of help promoting us. And we're going to get some equipment upgrades and, just all the stuff that, again, I keep mentioning my wife, but like, we don't have sponsorship or anything really because we never spent time chasing that stuff. If I went and spent $400 on a mic, she'd be mad.
Right.
So all the stuff that we want to do but not make our wives mad. So it was a nice deal for us. We get to upgrade our stuff. We're gonna get a little more promotion and help them out to start the content side of their application that they have and their website. And then they hired me too. They said, we're going to need help doing this. And you have connections, people, you've been doing a podcast when they bought us, they asked how long we've been doing it. And I was really sure it was 3 years. And Drew found out it was 4. He was sure it was 4.
The lost year you forgot about?
Yeah, there was a lost year there. Well, this is the 4th NFL season. We started before the 17th season.
Okay.
So, yeah. They brought me on. I'm not doing a ton with that now because we haven't got too deep into that. Everything takes longer than you'd think when you're developing an app.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Like, that's my biggest frustration with life is, well, can we make it do this? Like, yeah, but we got to teach a bunch of programmers what we want it to do and have them run through it and then test it and make sure it works. I'm like, wow, that sucks. Like, I wish we could just do that now, but there's some realities to the time frame of stuff like this. So kind of working on the app, working on getting some content up. We're going to have some written content, some, a couple more podcasts. And
you write too?
Some video stuff.
You write?
I have.
Okay.
I have. I've just been lazy about it.
There you go. All right.
It's a lot easier to relate if somebody's paying you for it.
Everything changes. When you start to get a little cash, everything changes. Well, that's good. Maybe the wife will, grow with this role as well as you. And, we wish you nothing but, good luck and stuff with that. It's at Bet Spurts. Reed does a good job. I know Reed, and, I've talked to him as well. So you got a lot of things looking forward to with that. Last question before we get to the games and the usual stuff. So it says you're a competitive eater. And, I've seen you before with the beard. You shaved for the podcast, maybe. You cleaned it all up. Looking good with that Minnesota hat on. What is your specialty eating? Like, what is your thing?
When we did our first year of the NFL podcast and we got to the Super Bowl, we said we're having too much fun with this. We should just do whatever. Like we did some Kentucky Derby podcasts, bring a horse guy on. You do a Masters podcast, bring a golf guy on. And we got to the 4th of July, and we knew a guy who really, really actually puts quite a bit of money in the offshores in these hot dog contests on the 4th of July. So we've had him on a couple times. And one year I asked him, I'm like, how do you get into that if you're not like Joey Chestnut? They said, well, there's qualifiers all over the country. You just got to take down a qualifier. He's like, you could probably do that. He's like, some of these guys are getting in, eating like 18 to 20 hot dogs in 10 minutes. I'm like, that's a lot of hot dogs, bud. But he said you should try it. He kept goading me, and finally I said, well, I'll go set a baseline. So I read a couple blogs. I looked into the technique and how these people are doing things. I fasted for a day after I did a big meal, a bunch of Chinese food. It was all like a bunch of cabbage I ate. And then I fasted, and then the next day I cooked up these hot dogs. My wife, again, she was disgusted with this. Cooked up I didn't want to set the bar too low or like run out of hot dogs, so I cooked like 26 hot dogs.
How many did you eat? Was it over or on?
No, way under, like 10. You got to eat the buns too.
Yeah, the buns.
10 buns.
You wet the buns?
Yeah, did you dip it in the water?
Oh yeah, I was trying the techniques and stuff. This is still up. I'll find you this video sometime. I had to cut the sound and do a voiceover. Otherwise, it's just 10 minutes of hearing me smack food. It's awful.
Oh, it's
I completely cut the sound. It's all voiceover of me talking about my technique and my mistakes. But it is 10. I was still happy with 10 for a baseline. And then with the pandemic, they end up shutting down a lot of the qualifiers. So I'm kind of in a hiatus, but as a pro athlete, I'm just amateur. I'm keeping my amateur status for now, but I'm in limbo right now. We're gonna see what the Major League Eating does with the qualifiers for next season. I'll do some training, do some stomach expansion, some jaw training, a few other things.
There we go.
Fantastic.
We'll get there. It's my only chance to ever be on ESPN, man. You get up on stage if you qualify.
Well, we'll hopefully we'll see that happen because we'll be following along, and you might have to do like training montages like Rocky.
I wish I had better video editing.
Well, we can talk to Reed about that. Maybe we'll see what we can do. All right. So that's going to do it for the interview. He's Andy Molitor at Andy MSFW. What does that stand for, MSFW?
We never really decided.
Okay. That's good.
Maybe safe for work is what we stuck with. We just had to change it from we had to change it from the one that it came with when you sign up with Twitter that has like 500 numbers at the end.
He's the director of content for BetSperts. He's the Minnesota half of the Deep Dive podcast at Deep Dive Pod. I recommend you listening to it, and a longtime listener of the Cash Considerations podcast. So he's sticking around with us. We're going to talk football.
Coconut water.
He's got a unique look at a lot of stuff, so looking forward to that. Before we get to that, I just want to mention to be sure to sign up for the weekly Gaming Today newsletter, which highlights the latest stories from the sports betting and casino industry world. All you have to do is put your email address in the box on the gamingtoday.com homepage. All right, boys, that leads us to the Run and Shoot 7. This is our first Run and Shoot 7 without Alan. Alan had the formula. So I reached out to one of our listeners at Carl Haskell up in New Hampshire. He's a coordinating producer of the show now, trying to crack this formula, and came up with a 7. It was a good 7, Carl. It was a really good effort, but we had to change it up a little bit. So
he had Niners at the top. That's all that mattered.
Yes, well, but that was from least to beast. So he threw the Niners in there because he knows you want to talk Niners, but they didn't make it.
I didn't realize that was the order. Now I'm mad.
Yes.
God, least, damn it, Carl.
Yes. So, and a buddy of mine, SoCal DJen on Twitter, he sent me a list. We're getting lists now every week. This is actually kind of fun. If you have a list, send a DM to the show at GT Cash Consider or myself at SportsBK Consig. We'll see what we can do and try to create the list. It is 7 games. We got a couple bonus games, though, because, we had to throw out a couple, but we can't not talk about them while we have, Andy here and HB and Mo. So We'll try to keep it tight. I know Reynolds is on the clock. Let's get it started. Number 7 tonight, Bucks, Panthers in Carolina. Jeez. It's 5.5, 6 area. The Bucks are 6-3, 4-5 against the spread. The Panthers are 3-5, but 5-4 against the spread. The Buccaneers are coming off a debacle, just a destruction, a game that you throw it all out. It's gone. They're favored on the road now. Andy, I'll go to you first. Lead us off. Bucks, Panthers, side total, anything. What do you got?
Yeah, no thanks.
That's
a hard one.
Step right in.
That's awesome.
It's a hard
That's awesome.
Missing Marpet might be a really big deal for Tampa. Like that might be a bigger deal than we think because Brady can't move around anymore. He's Dave's age.
He's actually a little bit younger than me, but thank you for
reading. A decrepit man.
So yeah, Marpet's a big deal. That might be a problem for them, but Carolina's defense isn't great. So Tampa pass, probably pass.
Yeah, awesome.
Mo, you agree? Disagree? Where you at?
Panthers are going to keep it close. I'm still going with Matt Rule till I die. I don't know if they're going to win, but they'll keep it close and stay inside the number.
All right. HB, anything with this one, number 7?
No McCaffrey. Tampa with their issues. Let's go under the 51 or 50.5.
Okay. That is the
division game.
Yep, 50.5.
I haven't looked at any of these games.
That's
I know
good.
what I do for a living.
That's why we bring you on the show.
I know what I do for a living, and I haven't looked at anything.
I'm happy that you're awake and alive after last night, after the way that thing started.
I'm happy I didn't keep going. I almost kept going.
It was a good thing the night had to end. It was a good thing. Number 6, Broncos, Raiders. This was our side bet last year, Mo. Who would have more wins, Broncos or Raiders? The Broncos coming to the game 3-5, but 5-3 against the spread. The Raiders are 5-3 and also 5-3 against the spread. The line dropped, boys. It's now -4. Oakland. The total is floating around 50.5. I'll start with this one. It's Denver or nothing for me, but it's really a nothing. I don't like the game at all. I can't get a real read on the Raiders because I don't think the defense is really that good. They continue to win games, especially on the road that I thought they were going to lose. So 5-3 and in the driver's seat to get a playoff spot. I'll kick it back down to you, HB. Anything here with this one?
No side. I hate 4s and 5s like I always say in the NFL. I'll go over inside at Allegiant, and neither team really plays good D.
No Quattros or no Cincos for AB. I got to put that HB. I got to put that in the notes. He's not going to have any take on a side with Quattro or Cinco. Mo, Broncos, Raiders, anything?
I don't know how many times I've seen the Broncos try to come back in the second half of a game and fall short. Obviously, the Chargers game is the Chargers because it's the Chargers. But, another division game. I think I'm finding more respect for the Raiders every week. I fucking hate that. But, once again, it'll be close. I'm going to just expect the Broncos to keep it close and possibly win the game outright.
That sounds like a Broncos 2H play to me. That one just sounded like you may be reaching out to a 2H.
That's a third eye play, seeing around corners. Like I can't even fathom something like that. But Broncos are going to be there.
What do you got here, Andy? You and Drew, anything on this game?
Yeah, I took the over already. I bet this one actually.
Nice.
So, I don't have a defense ranked lower than Las Vegas right now, and maybe they're kind of sneaky bad because they have a winning record. Yes. And again, like Carr. I don't know what got into that guy. He's aggressive now. Like it's a fun offense. It's kind of a good team if they didn't have to play defense. So there's a bunch of good receivers. There's a bunch of good receivers up there in Denver. I don't think Locke's going to be the answer, but they've got their receivers figured out. So hopefully they score before the fourth quarter this week, and I don't have to sweat this too bad.
There you go. Get that thing over early. All right. Number 5. It's
look at the list.
They never would make the list because AB was making the list. But we have to talk about the Vikings and the Bears on Monday night. Andy's here in Minnesota. I mean, the Vikings are 2.5-point favorites. The total's 43. Neither thing has moved all week. The Vikings are, what are they, 5-3 on the season or 3-5? They're 3-5?
Sounds like the second one. Yeah.
The Vikings are 3-5 on the season, but 5-3 against the spread. The Bears are 5-4 and sinking fast. 5-4 against the spread. Home dog Bears, Minnesota road favorite, side total. Andy, is this your squad? Are you a Viking fan?
The more you bet, the less of a fan you become, and that's right. Like you lose it, it dies. It's hard. I'm a big whatever Wong teaser, math teaser guy. I love those. Especially at books, it still lets you get down for 10 cents on 6 points. So I actually have the Bears teased up with the team that's up by like 15 points right now. So Colts Bears teaser. We just need this is the longest you can put between two legs of a teaser in the same week. Thursday night, Monday night teaser. Like I got to sit and wait now. I don't think the Colts are going to lose by more than 8 at this point. So we're good on the first leg. The Bears at home, little buy low spot, sell high on the Vikes. Outdoors, I don't think that offense looks nearly as good. And the Bears, it's a legitimate defense compared to some of these other teams that the Bears or Vikes have played.
Mo, no AB. Yeah. We can talk Bears. Got anything here?
Oh, man, it's just two different styles of teams that they're going to see between the Lions. They just beat the hell out of, and then the Bears on the road. So, I'm going to end up taking the dog at some point. Bears here. I think that's probably all I have, considering I haven't looked at anything. So Bears or nothing.
Bears or nothing.
That one's for Alan.
I'm
picking
good.
Bears for Alan.
HB, can we
one of my weekend for winners, pardon me. And it's like a double no-no because it's a division game, laying points on the road. But I was really impressed with the way the Vikings played last week with Dalvin Cook, a whole different team. I think the Bears are a fraudulent 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, whatever they are now. So I like the 2.5 laying it.
Okay. I think I'm with Andy here a little bit. I like the Bears. I think they're live to actually win this game. This was one of the this was the only game I thought they would win of the 4. They lost the 2 previous to this one. I had them winning this one and then losing next week. So I like the Bears. And, that one was for Allen, but that offense is so bad. You want to talk about the Raiders having to play defense. It's a shame that the Bears have to play offense. Hopefully they get a defensive touchdown here, but this feels like a Bears and under, mid-November game at night and kind of a trash watch, which kind of seems to be the Bears every single week. Number 4, a complete opposite game of the Vikings and Bears. It's the Bills going out to the desert to play Arizona. Arizona, big move today came on Arizona. It's up to 2.5. The total's 56. I'll kick it off. For the viewers on YouTube, I'll try to do it. There's the ceiling of my house. This total can't be high enough. It should be 60. I don't know who's stopping who. You can just bet over. I don't want to pick a side. If I have to, I think Buffalo. I'm actually starting to resign myself to the fact that Buffalo is going to win their division. They're going to get a home game, and they may sneak a victory in the playoffs to actually get to the AFC Championship, believe it or not. But this game should be over by early fourth quarter, over 56 for me. Let's kick it back to Andy. Where are you at with this one?
Hard agree. Yeah, same thing. I actually bet. I did bet this one. Drew and I agreed. We took it on the opener. I got a 53.5 on this.
Oh, my.
Beautiful. Pretty, and a lot of times I tell people, like, yeah, maybe I wouldn't bet it at the current numbers, but there's some 56s out there. Like, it's still, it might should be a little higher than that. And Buda Baker might be out now. Like, that's your one, you don't have very many good pieces on this defense. And he might be it. So if you lose your one good piece of this defense on an already bad defense, man, the Bills might go up and down the field. The Bills don't have the defense they did have last year. So, yeah, game might end in the 70s, and I'd love that.
HB, side total, Arizona. What are you looking at here?
I'll pass on this game. I don't really like it.
Okay. Mo, anything?
Yeah, over or die. Anything with the Bills from here on out is all over. And then I like the Cardinals. Like, I love that the Seahawks or the Bills win a game like that at home against the Seahawks. Like, them traveling west, like, I feel like the Cardinals are pretty fucking good, and they'll end up getting the win here against Buffalo.
I'm actually surprised the number wasn't 3. Like, it just feels like this should be a 3, but it's lower because what the Bills did to the Seahawks. But, the Seahawks turned the ball over all those times, and it was just ripe for that to happen finally. So I feel like the number's a little short, and I guess it's probably going to be bet up to 3. It feels like it's going that way. Number 3 is my team, the undefeated team, the last team left
Rigged.
in the NFL. Yep, they made the list. You knew they were making the list. Please, all of you.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Carl knew that.
Carl put it in there as the beast, from least to beast. He had it the beast. So Carl knows. He's coordinating producer. Anyhow, there's no line for this game in most books. There's no line. This headline was 9.5, and then the COVID got the Steelers. They told Ben, you can't come practice. You can't come to the facility. You can only do it Zoom. But we'll see you Sunday. The game starts at 1, just so you know. I don't know what to make of this game. I thought 9.5 was absurd. I thought the line should be 7, and I anticipated coming 7 when it is ultimately decided. The Bengals, man, they're 6-2 against the spread, despite being 2-5-1. They're right there. Burrow can sling it. They're in games. They're coming back. They probably should have won an extra game or 2. I don't know about the side. I'm just interested to see. I think this will be a teaser special. The Steelers will be in every single teaser that a book has, minus 110, 20, 30, 40, whatever it is. Steelers teaser special. Andy, where you at here with this one?
I took the Bengals. I took a 9 early when it was
yes.
Up. Well, it was an absurd number. Like it was bigger than that. Like agreed, it's 7.5, and then now you got the COVID stuff, and who knows with this game. Like if this game ends up opening at a weird spot, I might buy back on the Steelers. I got another guy that's a Pittsburgh guy. He says they'd say like Joe Burrows, and he says Mason's Rudolphs. He says that's a real Yinzer thing to throw some S's on the end of everything. So he said, yeah, if Mason's Rudolphs starts, he's like, maybe you want to just keep your number because that guy's terrible.
Yeah,
he's legitimately one of the worst backers in the league.
Atrocity.
Yeah, the Yinzers put S's on everything. It's very common, but let's hopefully Mason doesn't have to play much in this one. Hopefully he's playing mop-up time, if anything. But
Steelers win. Yeah, Steelers win, but don't cover. That would be beautiful for me.
Okay. Mo, yay, nay, what do you think?
I don't want any parts of this, but I'm becoming a bigger fan of Burrow every week. Damn, that guy's unreal. I don't think people are understanding how good he's doing right now with the Bengals. Like, to me, it's unreal what he's doing with this team. Like how bad they were last year coming into this year. Like he's making a whole organization believe. One guy is doing that. I hope he does real good things later in his career.
All right.
That has nothing to do with the game, by the way. But that's how I feel about Joe Burrow.
You used your minute. That was your minute.
That was it. I'm coming back for another one. I'll be back for another minute.
HB, got a side total here?
Over. I'm sorry. Under. It's 90% chance
Over
of rain in Pittsburgh on Sunday.
Over's good.
Under.
Yeah, you want to see Mason Rudolph play then.
There you go. Number 2 on the list, and this will be a staple every single week. They will fall somewhere in the 7 until they lose for sure. The Miami Dolphins, fellas, minus 1.5 at home against the Los Angeles Chargers, who just can't get out of their own way. They can't do it. And we got Tua. Hungavalea, minus 1.5 the total. 48. Jesus, the Chargers are 2-6, but they're 5-3 against the spread, and the Dolphins are 5-3, 6-2 against the spread. Mo, you kick us off. Tua or die, or are you looking to fade him this week?
Oh my! I don't even know at this point. I was so proud to even see him beat the Cardinals. Yeah, I have to. The Chargers are a train wreck. I can't stand this fucking team. I'm going to not be involved, but I'm going to want to see Tua win this game. So I'm not going to be giving out to anybody at all. Under no circumstance.
Is Pops on board with this Tua thing? I mean, really, what he's doing?
He's just waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is how my old man is, man. So, when he starts losing, then we'll start to figure out the next Samoan to give us hope later in football.
Okay. Andy, tough game to handicap. What do you guys got on this one?
Yeah, I had some Tua last week. It felt good. I'm not even sure I should have got that win. That was a weird game. It was a good win. Yeah, that was a dog price you had to take. I was very excited to see him play well because the week before you didn't get to see him really play. They just got all those defensive scores. It was weird.
Yeah,
so happy to see him score. Really, you should be fading him this week though.
Yeah,
he's a favorite. But if you tell me, you should fade him. Well, who do they play? The Chargers? Pass.
Yeah.
No thanks. Yeah, not getting in bed with that. Not getting in bed with that team right now. No. And I like Herbert.
Yeah. HB, side total, bearish banger, anything with this one?
Yeah, over. Chargers have scored 31 points in their last 5 games. That's what they're averaging.
Oh, my God.
So put aside all those choke jobs and all that stuff. Just bet the over.
Awesome. I kind of like that, actually. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. 48. I like it. All right. Last game on the list. The game in the afternoon for sure. There's a lot of games in the afternoon, but this is it for the NFC West. Seahawks, Rams minus 1.5. Total open 55.5 and is dropping 54.5. Seahawks coming off their worst game of the season. Russ's worst game in years. 6-2 against overall, 5-3 against the spread. The Rams are 5-3, 4-4 against the spread. Let's swing it back around, start where we left off. HB, Seahawks, Rams, side total, anything.
I think Seahawks bounce back after the loss. I'm not impressed with the Rams at all. I mean, they play good D, but Goff and the offense is anemic. And I think the ass whooping that the Seahawks got in Buffalo will wise them up.
Okay. Mo, anything here? Russell Wilson, I mean, your hair is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think Russ got a haircut. You just keep letting it go. It looks so good. What do you think here?
I wish I could see both teams lose. That would be my ultimate dream. I fucking hate both of them. But I don't know. I kind of agree with what HB's saying. Like, the Seahawks coming off a loss like that, and usually the Rams play the Seahawks pretty well, especially in a game like this. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really impressed with the Rams as much. I feel like they won a lot of the games earlier because they played the NFC East. But I mean, how good can this team possibly be playing against a team that can score 30-plus points? So for the most part, I would have to play Seahawks in a position like this.
Andy?
Yeah, on the podcast, we disagreed hard on this. Maybe not hard to disagree, but Drew is very Seahawks heavy in this game. He doesn't think much. And it was one of those things where I kind of agreed, and then I looked at my power numbers, and it's like, well, I didn't see the Rams play this week. What happened? Oh, yeah, bye. So I didn't realize how high my numbers made the Rams. You go back, they've dropped 30 points on the road 3 times against bad defenses. The Eagles, the Bills, who are a bad defense, and Washington. Like, they can score. It just comes down to, like, McVay is so back and forth. Like, either he puts together a good game plan and they look great and they win and they score 30 points, or he puts together a shitty game plan and one of these games, like the Giants, they won 17-9, or the loss at the Niners. Who loses to the Niners this year? Like, they don't have any players left.
Yep.
So just a goofy thing for me. And I told Drew, I said, I'm going to tell you who wins this game after one drive by the Rams. Once we see what McVay has for the day, they're either going to win by 10 or lose by 10. So I'm live betting this for sure.
Betting.
Hard pass, live betting.
All right, I'm going into this one. I really, really like the Rams. Off the bye with McVay, with time to plan for the Seahawks, the games for the division lead, I think they come up with – I really
lead sick.
Number short, and it feels like this may end up being that public dog that doesn't get there. It may get there. The Seahawks can go win this game by 10 easily. If they score 30, that may be enough. I don't know, but I could see 28-24, Rams, 23-20 even. So I really respect the Rams defense. They have given up the least amount of yards in the NFL. The Seahawks defense has given up the most amount of yards in the NFL. So a real clash of, contrast here, and I'm going to side with the better defense, which I always do. It doesn't always win, but in this one, that's where I'm going. A bonus pick that I wanted to just run by you. You can give a side total, anything, real quick. First one is Eagles-Giants. I have no idea what to make of this game, but I would lean Giants. Andy, Eagles-Giants, side total, anything.
Eagles are getting healthy, but I think you missed the number if you wanted them. They're at 3.5 now. I'm not laying that kind of – if you got a cheap 3 earlier, that's probably a good bet, but no pass.
Mo, Eagles-Giants?
Impossible to even think about this game right now. Impossible.
HB?
Shit against shit gets you shit.
Shit against shit gets you shit. That's pretty easy.
That's a Sean Alvarez. That's on Twitter immediately.
At a smooth turn, too.
He is.
Right?
That's a Sean Alvarez joint, guaranteed.
Mark down the time, Sean.
I called him Sean. Yes.
That's what I want to mention before we move on to college is Ravens-Patriots. They didn't make the list because the Patriots are done. They're toast. They're shit. They got the Ravens at home. It's Sunday night. The Ravens are -7. The Ravens are back. The Ravens are going to be on every single teaser, straight bet, everything. I've seen this show before. Really. I can't take the Patriots. This is a no-play game for me. But, my God, our friend Sammy sent the text out. The bartender, who's the kiss of death, he's taken down so many teams now. His special is the Ravens, -7. And he gave it out on a Thursday. It put me on pause, and I go, oh, boy, don't touch that game. So threw it off. Mo, Ravens, Patriots, anything?
I'm going to figure it out later in that day, depending on how I'm doing financially. But the Patriots are probably going to be a no-choice play at some point. Maybe like at 342. Like, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm probably going to play the Pats. Like, that's how I feel.
NCP. Andy.
There's just no choice.
Do you guys have a side here with this thing?
Yeah, we both took some 6.5 early before they played their Monday night game. So we said there's no situation Monday night where this number goes the other way.
Correct.
The only way it can go is across 7. Like, there's no situation where this is a 6 tomorrow. So we bet a cheap 6.5, and based on how things go, I might have both sides of the 7 if you're telling me it doesn't have a chance to win now. Maybe I'm hoping for a 20-1 on landing on a 7.
There you go. HB, I mean, you're the Ravens guy on the show. You can't possibly – the Patriots aren't going to win this game, could they?
No, but I'd be afraid of a backdoor. If anything, I'd bet the Ravens in the first half, right out of the gate.
1H. Birds, 1H.
There you go.
Ravens flock.
That's DMV,
right.
stand up.
Couple guys I just want to mention before we move on to the college. Tommy Lorenzo, good friend of the show. He always tweets out our stuff at Tommy Lorenzo. Couple of the boys, Richie Shippen. He's Dicky at Richie Shippen and Louis Sports X MMA. These guys are great. Dr. Greg is a little pissed off. He wants to rebut the story that AB told on the farewell show. He's fired up. He's angry, and he wants back on the show to tell his side of the story. Greg, I'm sorry. You're not getting on the show anytime soon.
How is he not getting on the show? What do you mean?
We're booked out. Listen, we're booked out. I'm sorry, Greg. I apologize.
He can be on for like 5 minutes. Maybe.
In at Vegas, Mikey Mills, new member at Circa. My boy and I worked together back in the day. He's doing a great job controlling those screens over at Circa. And Jeff Benson, he got him in, and now he's doing a great job. All right, Mo, 2-minute drill, college football. I know we mentioned it last night. You said, man, there's a lot of games being canceled. I have no idea where I'm going to go. I've been looking forward all day to your 2-minute drill that starts right now.
I only have 2 plays, just 2, and they're both involving the Mountain West. I feel like that's okay. I feel like it's on brand somewhat. My first one is Nevada plays New Mexico here at Sam Boyd. Sam Boyd's never going to die. I don't know when that shit's going to be imploded or whatever the case may be. Yeah. We opened it a little bit shorter. I think we opened it like 14 or 13 out of 14. It's up to 17, and New Mexico is just going through hell right now. Like, they can't go home. They're just coming from Hawaii. Tavaka Tuioti, another Samoan, he's actually hurt. He's like their 4-year guy at New Mexico. So they're going to be going through a carousel of quarterbacks against a team that I think the market hasn't really caught up with. And it hurts me to say, but I think UNR is actually a pretty good football team.
Ooh, that hurts.
And, even on defense, I think they're pretty solid. So, in a position where New Mexico has to go and stay in a hotel and doesn't really get a lot of chance to practice or, kind of put their own, deal together, coming right after, that flight from Hawaii, I think Nevada gets out ahead and wins this game big, especially after New Mexico kind of put all their strength in that Hawaii game.
That's the clap. 1 minute remaining. Go ahead.
And the other game is a no-choice play. It's only for justice. Utah State fired Gary Anderson, something that I really wanted to happen last year. He destroyed Jordan Love's career in 1 year. Destroyed it. Absolutely killed him. Fresno State was laying 12, 13 at our spot, now down to 10, basically painted across the board. Look, man, Utah State's fucking terrible. But Fresno State, they have no business laying double digits against anybody on the road, not even Utah State. I like that Gary Anderson's gone. I'll take the 10 and pray to God it doesn't blow up in our face. So Utah State plus 10 and Nevada laying 17. Those are my two plays.
Got the ball clocked, and we set up for a field goal again. Really, he's getting it down, Reynolds. He's doing his job, getting us set up for the game-winning field goal. Now it's a couple weeks in a row. We're ready to go. We just got to get it through the uprights.
He worked the sidelines well there. He still had time on the clock.
Really good job, Mo. Really good job. All right.
Working on my 2-minute stuff.
I like it. We got laying or taking. Last week we gave 5 games. We either lay the points or take the points. We both went 2 and 3. So
my God.
Yeah, not good. We were opposite a couple. I went 2 and 3. You went 2 and 3. We got to do a better job this week. Here are the 5 games for laying and taking. And Andy, you jump in after I say it. If you want to lay, take, or just you don't have to say anything. But if you got something, say it after me. All right? You're good?
In college football?
Yeah, college football. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I let smarter people than me tell me what to play.
Oh,
I'll just tail Mo.
This is a perfect segment. You can get all your plays right here to fade or follow.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
Here we go.
A notebook right here.
This is an awesome segment, by the way. You should just say lay or take, please. You got to.
That's it.
Yeah.
Lay or take.
I'll yell something.
Okay.
There we go.
Arkansas at Florida. Florida just beat Georgia. They're minus 17.5 at home against Arkansas, who's 3 and 3, but 6 and 0 against the spread. Letdown spot. I'll go first. I am taking 17.5. Mo.
Taking.
Andy.
Laying.
There, easy.
Swamp.
No,
you see that giant gator today?
Yeah.
That can't be real. That wasn't a real thing.
Notre Dame at BC. Notre Dame at BC. By the way, if anyone hasn't missed it, Notre Dame just beat Clemson in double overtime. They're going to Boston College. This is Boston College's Super Bowl. BC's 5 and 3, but they're 5 and 3 against the spread. I'll start again. I am taking. I think BC could win the game. Mo, laying or taking?
Taking. BC, I hate them, but they're going to get there.
Andy.
I'll take the Catholics.
There you go.
The Catholics.
Aren't they both Catholics?
That's it.
I feel like they are, yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the points. Their name sucks.
we got Oregon going to Washington State. We got at least a Pac-12 game that they're playing. There's a couple that have been canceled. We're going to go with this one. Oregon minus 10 at Washington State. We don't know shit about either team. They've only played one game. Oregon going to Washington State. Mo, you go first on this one. Laying or taking?
Laying, big. I think Wazoo has COVID. Not sure.
I am going to take. I like home dogs. I don't know. It seems high. It's steaming up. This game is probably going to close 12.5. Andy?
Oh, taking. No, laying. I'm laying it with Oregon. Ryan Leaf ain't walking through that door.
Ducks.
Okay.
No Leaf.
This one's going to try to make it in every week. Coastal Carolina.
Damn it.
At Troy. This is Mo's nemesis. He ain't got a Coastal Carolina game right all season. They are 7-0, 6-1 against the spread, laying 10.5 at Troy. Mo, laying, taking.
I finally gave in and started to rate Coastal Carolina a little bit higher. But I got to play Troy. I have to play Troy for justice. For fucking justice sake, dude.
For the segment, I was just going to do the opposite of you on this game. I was going to say take, but I'm going to lay just to continue tormenting you with Coastal Carolina. Andy,
of course.
Wait, yeah, they shot up my rankings. I'm laying the points with the Chanticleers.
Yes.
They did everything they could to screw up that game last week. They should have won by 30.
Yeah.
Give me the chance.
Last game, Penn State at Nebraska. Penn State is -3. They're 0-3 against the spread. They just got destroyed at home against Maryland. Nebraska's 0-2 and stinks. The line is 3. I can't believe it. I think this may be the beginning of the end of James Franklin. I think Nebraska, I am taking the points with the home dog here. Mo, laying, taking.
Clifford versus Martinez. I mean, what are we doing? I'm taking the points. Damn. Sucks.
Andy, Penn State, Nebraska. What do you got?
Yeah, you always take the points in Lincoln.
Yep. All right. So, at some point, hopefully
the face is good.
The three of us have all taken down Nebraska. That will be perfect for me. And all my boys listening back home and Penn State fans around the world, please, I hope they win this game. But, man, it's going to be tough. Masters, real quick before we get out of here, boys. The Masters talk, the Masters handle has continued to climb and grow every year. They moved this thing to November. The leaves look different. It's going to play different. It's weather, rain. Everybody's wearing long sleeves, windbreakers, all this shit. I'll tell you what. It was fun to look at all the matchups. I got overwhelmed. And plus, I got into some stuff with Mo just hanging out last night. I had all these bets lined up. I didn't bet a goddamn thing. I have no idea who's going to win. But I know that Paul Casey finished today -7. When you guys listen to the show, it's hopefully Friday, Saturday, whatever. But after the first round, Casey is -7. I can tell you this, he's not going to win. You can bet against him. You can bet against him in matchups. You can bet other guys. Paul Casey's not winning the Masters. So if you listen to this on Sunday as he's getting the green jacket, you can DM me at SportsBCake and Sig and say, stick that green jacket up your ass. Paul Casey did win. I don't think he's going to do it. I have this stat. Tiger Woods finished -4 today. Okay? And this was from Brandel Chambly. Jack Nicklaus won his 6th Masters in 1986, 23 years after his first. He was ranked 33rd in the world going into that week. If Tiger wins this week, it will be his 6th Masters, 23 years after his first, and he is ranked 33rd going into this week. That is a fantastic stat, and I'm rooting for Tiger just because I want to see it. I think that's an awesome thing. It will be legendary. Do I think he's going to win? No, but I am rooting for him. I got the red hat on. My ECSI, JD, keep sending me the merchandise, brother. I love it. Red hat for Tiger for Sunday. It's on my head. Bo, did you do anything with this golf? And what did you see from the book's perspective? Can you believe the handle that you guys did?
Yeah, man. I mean, the hold that we're giving out just in general is just insane. I feel like maybe like a week or a week and a half prior to Thursday, I think people started to understand like these odds that we're offering are the best in like basically the world, like a lot of like the better golfers. So, yeah, I mean, JYD could tell you, straight up, because I was doing more of the college football stuff, the last couple of days when I was at work. But just the bets that we were saying, just anything from $100 to $1,000 to $2,000 that we were giving up on, 40, 50, 60 to 1 shots was insane. So, it was really hard to track what we won and what we lost to, but, there's a couple at the top that we might get, we're giving up a small house to. But we win to quite a bit of the guys that, have a shot right now that are at the top of the leaderboard. So, yeah, it's fun. We all want to see DeChambeau not die personally, but in the match. I don't want to kill
not make
anybody.
The cut.
Yeah, correct. But I just faded him in 2 matchups against Rahm and against Rory. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to wait that out for the tournament and see what happens.
Andy, you're a tennis guy, but are you a golf guy too? Did you take any positions in these Masters?
I've got 6 head-to-head matchups. I bet 4 first-round matchups. I bet 32 props, and I have 6 outrights.
Welcome to the show.
We need a standalone show to go over them. But either way, I'm rooting for a few guys. I think the main takeaway from tomorrow is when you guys lay your heads on the pillows, Matthew Wolff is going to be double digits under par before we go to bed tomorrow night. He's coming on strong. He's my guy. He's looking tight right now. So
yeah,
I'm happy about him. Matty Wolff.
Matty Wolff.
I like it.
HB, I forgot to look at Bowman's picks. Did he sent out he wrote the column in the paper? Do you remember what his 5 were? Or do you have anything that you're on for the Masters?
I went down to the D yesterday. Actually, ran into Joe from SGD, and I made 5 outrights, and I bet a matchup for the tournament.
Okay.
And the reason I went down there is for what Mo said. The odds are just so much better than everywhere else. It was worth a few extra miles to truck down there.
Most definitely.
Bowman has Rory, DJ, Cantlay, Schauffele, and one other.
Okay.
Cantlay at 25-1, I think was his longest pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and for those of you that aren't in town, when you come to town, if you're going to bet golf, there really is one place to bet it because you can just shop the prices. You can see it. You can follow along on Twitter. They do a great job of posting it and seeing it. The numbers, are that much better. So I was down there to do the same thing, and I got overwhelmed. The packet, I mean, there's so many things, the hole-in-one props, the make-the-cut props, the menu has gotten extensive, not just here in Vegas, especially in other places as well. It is crazy. But if you're looking to bet it in Vegas, here's the shirt. I got a shirt, Circa Sports. There it is. Go down there and bet golf.
Send one to Andy. Yeah, please.
Before we go to take a minute, we're headed there right now. So get it ready. I just wanted to mention the Gaming Today subscription is $185 a year. And with that, you get a paper, an actual paper. It's still printed, and you get that with the digital subscription. It's all available. Reach out to Gaming Today. Email Howard. He loves emails. You can find him and the rest of the staff and get a subscription. It's well worth it. There's a ton of information, good articles, especially even about food, everything going on. Do that soon.
I hate emails, by the way.
I hate emails too. All right. Let's set the tone for the guest. We're gonna start off. We started off last week with Howard. So this week, Mo, I don't want to put any pressure on you, but you got to kick off the Take a Minute segment in 3, 2, 1, go.
I didn't have anything prepared as usual for this, but I did find something out maybe 20 or 30 minutes through the show. The importance of having your phone charged in important deals like the one we're doing for this podcast makes a lot of sense because I think I'm on 3% right now, and I've been sweating it out for at least like the last 2 segments. So I think just as a PSA, keep your phone charged. It's 2020. I figure everyone's phone should be charged at all times. So that's what I'm going to go with.
Excellent work. Boy, you're really – your clock management skills, fuck, James Franklin should hire you. Really. A guy like that needs help on the sideline. You're really doing a good job. He's at Heat Takes, ladies and gentlemen, just owning it. I love it.
He spent more time working on his clock management than he has being an adult. Charge your phone. I
tried. I thought it was good until like 40 minutes into the show, and I'm like 10% left. I'm like, all right, this is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing?
You've been sponging off AB's Wi-Fi for such a long time, and you probably get that little slow.
Yeah, I've been lazy. I mean, lazier, I guess, would be the real word, It's already lazy when I was at Allen's.
Our man Allen is at %bird for those of you who want to follow on Twitter. He's not on the show, but you still got to follow him to get all this stuff. Howard, at Gaming Today News, your Take a Minute segment starts in 3, 2, 1.
You wake up every day in these tumultuous times and you don't know what to expect. You don't know what news you're going to hear. Today was a little bit of a kick in the in the sack because the Ivy League decided that they're going to put winter sports on the shelf, including basketball.
Columbia done.
With what's going on with college football, there's a real good reason to be concerned about how college basketball commences and hopefully starts at some point. I just pray that some sort of season comes together and we have that tournament in March. It means a lot to a lot of people, and it also means a lot to us here in Las Vegas because it is a big piece of business, especially that first weekend. So fingers crossed that vaccines come and this thing makes its way through the colleges and these kids become somehow immune. I don't know what to say. I pray that college basketball somehow comes together in the spring of 21.
Woo! Amen. Get an amen? Amen. We another basketball NCAA tournament canceled will be devastating on so many levels.
The Ivy League kids are looking for a cure. I don't think they're trying to play sports at this moment.
They got them in the lab.
Yeah, they're in the lab. Yeah, they're in the actual lab.
They said it was a smart move.
Oh, of course. Oh, my God.
Mo just got it. Did you see that? Mo was on a 2-second delay. He's like,
oh, yeah.
I'm done.
Hang on. You got 2%. He's almost out. Andy, thank you so much for joining the show today. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully it lived up to everything that you had hoped for. And I just want to, say thanks again for joining us. We tried to get Drew before. Drew couldn't make the time. Drew, if you're listening to the show, Dr. Greg couldn't get on. But if you need to talk to our people, let's trade some DMs and try to get you on the show. But Andy set the bar way up high. So, Andy, send us off with your Take a Minute starting in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, kind of bouncing off what HB said there. You just take what you got. It sucked. It sucked what we had in the spring there. We were betting on fucking ping pong, man. Shit was rough. I was betting on soccer leagues. I didn't know that. I couldn't tell you what continent they were on. So
Belarusian.
Belarusian soccer and Ukrainian table tennis. I'm looking at accounts I can get into, see what they're betting for table tennis. It was nuts. So it sucks that things are getting moved around, but we had the Triple Crown late. We've had the Masters. At least we have it, even if it is in November and it's way too much goddamn work because I'm trying to do a football, season as well. So just take what you got and be happy there's something because we can be back at ping pong, man.
Oh, God. All right. Let's hope.
And God, I hope there's basketball, man. Because college basketball is like my main thing I actually make money at.
Yeah, we need college basketball like we need air. He's at Andy MSFW, the Minnesota half of the Deep Dive podcast, at Deep Dive Pod. Follow those guys. And his partner, Drew, is at whale_capper. Guys doing a great job. Keep it up. All right, fellas, before we get out of here, my Take a Minute segment starts right now. Twitter, no doubt, is a complete shit show. But sometimes it leads to some really good connections and some really good community things. Just meeting guys like Andy. I met so many guys via Twitter. I'm sitting down at the Circle last night, and I go up to the counter and talk to some people, and they're like, "You just missed Stanford Steve." I said, "What are you talking about? He's right there. He just left. He was right here at the counter." I turn around. Every guy in the joint is bald and has a mask. I can't tell which one's Stanford Steve. I don't know. I'm walking around in circles, What do? I tweet a picture of where I'm at. Get a DM. I'm sitting in this seat in second level. What? Really? So I go and meet with Stanford Steve from ESPN and Matt Humans. You want to talk about, I wasn't ready for what was coming, but my man is here. And then Mackenzie Kramer, an ESPN researcher, was hanging out with them. Drinks were flowing. I got to lay low for the rest of 2020. I can only drink Merlot wine. That's the only thing I can drink. No beer, no hard alcohol. So I don't even partake because they're doing something. I don't know what they're drinking. Shots start flying. Okay. What do? Where's Mo? Where's Mo? We need Mo. Yeah.
Get him over here.
Mo is home sleeping. I send him a text. You got to come. What do you mean? I'm here with humans and Stanford Steve. I'll be there as soon as I can. That's all the text said. From a dead stone cold sleep, here comes Mo. He doesn't make it in time because the Toledo game ended. The way the Toledo game ended, I got to experience a real-life bad beat with a guy holding a ticket who does the segment on SportsCenter every week. He was going to just die. His hands were in his head like this. He put his head down, and I just turned to him and I said, "Is that going to be on the show Monday?" He said, "What the fuck do you think?" Okay, there we go. So he has to go to bed because he's got to do Daily Wager. Mo shows up. You want to talk about a Vegas night? It just got started. I had no idea. If you haven't seen the show that is Mo at the bar, it started slow with a beer that was as big as my head. Then the shots started flying, and I do not know what happened. I didn't partake in the shots, but then, when humans leaned over and said, "I can do shots all night," I said, "We got to go. We got to go. Something has to end this right now." So I had a great Vegas experience, and I hopefully got to share it a little bit on Twitter. It was awesome, and I really appreciate it. The last thing I'm going to leave on, that was my take a minute. I need to wish my baby brother at Pittsburgh Lion, Doug, well wishes. He's starting chemotherapy tomorrow. I had a stroke 8 weeks ago, and I got the easy end of it. Somehow, I'm blessed. I'm okay. I feel better than I did before the stroke. So my baby brother is his name's Doug. He's at Pittsburgh Lion on Twitter. His kids made him a sign, and they're calling him Superman. So he's all in. Day 1 of chemo starts tomorrow. And if you're on Twitter, just give it a like. He posted a great thing. Go on there, like it. You don't have to give him any well wishes, but you can. They're always welcome. And prayers, Doug. I know you don't listen to the show, but you maybe will listen to this one. I'm thinking of you every day, but I'm thinking of you more today. And, when this fight starts. So fuck cancer. Here we go. That's it for the boys. At Heed These Takes, Motoy Pearson. For at Gaming Today News, Howard Barish. The best producer in the game, Reynolds. I am Reynolds, 2305. Alan at Percent Berg. I know you're not here. We'll see you soon, I think. And Andy stepping in AB's spot to this week. We really appreciate it. At Andy MSFW. I am Dave Sharapan at Sportsbook Consigliere at SportsBK Consig. Talk to you guys next week. We are out.